On this slide, we're addressing the critical issue of multiple vulnerabilities disclosed in the widely used Apache HTTP server. These vulnerabilities carry the potential for severe cyber attacks, including devastating disruptions to service and unauthorized access to sensitive data. Due to the serious nature of these threats, it is imperative that you take immediate action to mitigate these risks. This introduction sets the stage for understanding the specific components and functionalities affected and the types of attacks these vulnerabilities could facilitate. This slide provides an overview of the specific components and risks associated with the vulnerabilities in the Apache HTTP server. Key components affected include mod proxy, mod rewrite, and core functionalities of the server itself. The risks posed by these vulnerabilities are significant. They open the door to denial of service attacks, which can severely disrupt service availability. Additionally, there is a risk of remote code execution, allowing attackers to potentially take control of the affected server. Furthermore, these vulnerabilities could lead to unauthorized access, compromising the security of your system and data. Now, let's proceed to discuss one specific vulnerability and its implications. Here, we'll delve into CVE 2024-38472, a significant SSRF, server-side request forgery vulnerability. This particular vulnerability specifically affects Windows systems and can result in the leakage of NTLM hashes, which are sensitive pieces of information that could be exploited by attackers. Due to the nature of the risk, its severity is rated as high. Malicious actors can leverage this vulnerability to gain unauthorized access, potentially compromising the entire system's security. To mitigate this risk, it is imperative to upgrade your Apache HTTP server to version 2.4.60, which addresses this specific vulnerability. Additionally, the use of the unclist directive in your Apache configuration allows for more precise access management, limiting potential exposure by defining which domains are allowed access. On this slide, we will cover practical command examples to mitigate the SSRF vulnerability we discussed previously. First, to upgrade your Apache HTTP server to version 2.4.60, you would use these commands: sudo apt-get update, sudo apt-get install apache 2.4.60. These commands update your package list and then install the specified version of Apache. Next, to enhance your server's security, you need to configure the unclist directive. This directive helps manage access more granularly. Here's how you can set it up: directory/path to directory, allow default access off unclist allowed domains. In this example, replacing /path to directory with your actual directory path and allowed domains with your permitted domains will restrict access effectively. By setting allowed default access off, you deny default access, ensuring only specified domains have permission. Implementing these steps should significantly mitigate the risk associated with the SSRF vulnerability on your Windows systems. This slide focuses on CVE 2024-38474, a security vulnerability related to code execution and source disclosure. The primary issue here is the use of encoded question marks in back references, which presents a high risk because it allows arbitrary code execution. To mitigate this vulnerability, it's essential to implement proper encoding and handling mechanisms within your system. Additionally, applying the latest security patches can help protect against this threat. Ensuring that your system is up to date with security updates will minimize the risk associated with such vulnerabilities. In this slide, we're discussing CVE 2024-3875. This vulnerability is categorized as high risk and relates to unauthorized file system access due to improper escaping in mod rewrite. This flaw can lead to unauthorized access to sensitive files. To mitigate this risk, it is essential to upgrade to Apache HTTP Server 2.4.60 and ensure that outputs in mod rewrite are properly escaped. By implementing these solutions, you can significantly reduce the chance of unauthorized access to your file system. Let's move on to CVE 2024-38476. This vulnerability involves information disclosure, server-side request forgery, SSRF, and local script execution. Essentially, a malicious backend application can output sensitive information or execute scripts, leading to potentially broad and severe exploits. The risk associated with this vulnerability is classified as high, This means that if not addressed, it can lead to significant security breaches, possibly exposing confidential data and allowing unauthorized actions on the server. To mitigate this risk, you should upgrade to Apache HTTP Server 2.460. Additionally, it's crucial to validate and sanitize back-end outputs to prevent such exploits from being feasible. By taking these steps, you can significantly reduce the threat posed by this vulnerability. To mitigate the risks associated with vulnerabilities, such as the one we discussed in the previous slide, here are some general recommendations. Firstly, always keep your software updated. Regularly upgrading to the latest versions ensures you have the latest security patches and improvements. Secondly, proper configuration is crucial. You need to ensure that all settings and validations are rigorous to prevent potential exploits. Lastly, it's vital to monitor your systems continuously. Keep an eye out for any unusual activity that could indicate a vulnerability is being exploited. Implementing these practices can significantly reduce the risk of serious security breaches. Now, let's move on to practical tips for enhancing the security of your Apache server. First, let's talk about reviewing configurations. Pay special attention to mod proxy and mod rewrite. These modules, while powerful, can be exploited if not properly configured. Next, monitoring logs is crucial. Regularly check your logs for any signs of exploitation attempts. This can give you early warnings of potential intrusions or vulnerabilities being targeted. Lastly, consider implementing a web application firewall, or WAF. A WAF helps to mitigate exploitation risks by filtering out malicious traffic before it reaches your server. These steps collectively aim to fortify your server against common threats and potential security breaches. Let's dive into some tools and commands that are essential for monitoring your Apache HTTP server environment. To watch log files, you can utilize tools like grep and logwatch. For example, if you need to scan your Apache error logs for critical issues, you can use shgrep critical log apache2 error.log. This command will look through the specified error log file and return any entries that contain the word critical. Another useful tool is logwatch. It provides a concentrated overview of your logs, making it easier to monitor services like Apache. You can run logwatch as service apache-detail high. This command will generate a detailed report of your Apache log entries, helping you quickly identify any major issues that require attention. By effectively using these tools, you can better monitor and secure your Apache HTTP server, staying ahead of potential vulnerabilities and exploitation attempts. In conclusion, addressing critical vulnerabilities should be a top priority. Ensuring that you upgrade your Apache HTTP server to at least version 2.460 is essential. Moving forward, it's crucial to conduct regular system audits and maintain continuous monitoring and updating practices. Lastly, we recommend staying informed about the latest security advisories to proactively manage and mitigate potential risks. For anyone dealing with critical security vulnerabilities, it's essential to have reliable sources of information. On this slide, you'll find references that can guide you in managing and mitigating these vulnerabilities effectively. Firstly, the official documentation from the Apache HTTP Server project is a primary resource. This documentation provides detailed instructions on how to upgrade to the latest version, ensuring you're applying the best practices for security and performance. Additionally, the National Vulnerability Database, NVD, is an invaluable resource. The NVD offers comprehensive information on all known security vulnerabilities, including descriptions, severity levels, and possible impacts. Regularly consulting the NVD can keep you updated on the latest threats and necessary countermeasures. By leveraging these references, you ensure that your systems are not only up to date, but also more secure against potential threats. Thank you for taking the time to go through this course. Your feedback is incredibly important to us. If you found the content valuable, please leave a like. Feel free to comment below with any questions or thoughts you have. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more insightful courses, and share this course with your friends and colleagues who might benefit from it as well.